Okay, let's resume our class. I will do a screen share of these questions which we'll be discussing here. As you can see, it says that James wanted to find out how much water can be absorbed. So again, here you annotate this is the aim of the experiment, which is to test how much water can be absorbed by these three materials, P, Q, and R. So he cut out three similar square pieces, and then he sprayed the same amount of water evenly on each material and shook off excess water 5 minutes. The result of the experiment are shown in the table below, but my table is missing, so I want to screen share this table. This table, which is actually an image I have extracted earlier in this. Okay, just give me a second. Okay, this one I will screen share with you. This is the table as shown here. Okay, so you can see here PQR at the beginning is 3 grams everything, and then after they absorb the material in water, right, for 4 minutes, okay, I change it to 4 minutes, okay, instead of 5. Okay, maybe you can change it to 4 minutes, instead of 5 to 4 minutes. Okay, so you can see here the screen sharing which I mentioned here, this part, the amount of mass, right? You see which one has increased the most. Can you see P, right? P has increased the most from 3 to 4.2. So you take note of this. I sent to you the chart already. So what else should James do to ensure the experiment is a fair experiment? So you should say about the thickness, okay, the thickness of the material. You change that. So for this answer, which is question 36, okay, so there, James should ensure that, to make sure that the materials are of the same thickness. Okay, come back to the question, this part. Okay, you change this to 4 instead of 5 minutes. 5 minutes I find it a bit long, so you change to 4 minutes. And the answer for this will be, so James should make sure that the materials are of same thickness. Okay, this part, same thickness. Okay, a surgical mask is used to prevent the transmission of the COVID-22 virus. Okay, what I mentioned about COVID-22, because we are year 2022, as now some places in the northern hemisphere is entering its winter. So if you remember, the COVID virus actually started back then, I believe it's in Wuhan, where they are entering winter. So we cannot let our guards down. Maybe there's a COVID-22 virus going to turn up very soon. So we need to take prevention. So based on James' experiment, suggests the most suitable material, P, Q, and R, for making the inner layer. So inner layer, because we emit water vapor and so-called saliva, right? We must make sure that the innermost layer can absorb water best. So it should be material P. Okay. So based on experiment, explain your choice. So why P? Because you say material P could absorb the most water compared to other materials, making it the most suitable material to absorb water droplets in the mask. Okay, so this is a short and sweet answer. Okay. Material P could absorb the most water compared to other materials, compared to P, compared to the other two, Q and R, making it the most suitable material to absorb water in the mask. So again, I screenshot this question. Okay. Okay, someone asked me, I thought he must repeat the things 2 times. Okay, some of the students answered that because you see, in this question, right, this is how they ask it. Okay, they say, what else should James do to ensure the experiment is a fair one? Okay, what else must he do? Okay, the other one, your answer, do a few times. That one is to ensure the results are reliable. Okay, so besides having the same so-called surface area, so the better answer is same thickness. So Brandon, just now you asked me the question, right? So for the repeating the experiment is to ensure the results are more reliable. Okay, so it's nothing about this to repeat a few times is to make the result more reliable. Okay, so for this one is to fair experiment means they must make sure that it's same thickness. Okay, it's a good question. Very good. Okay, I screenshot this already. Okay, can I check does your question have, the paper have this question? Have, right? 37. Okay, good. Okay, 37 is actually a water collection device used by the scouts or maybe the soldiers. So you can see this part, I want you to annotate. Because if you don't annotate here, you may miss out this one, moist ground. Moist ground means contain water. And then I want you to annotate the sun also. So the sun produces heat energy. It heats up the soil. Okay, heats up the soil. So the water in the ground gains heat and evaporate. So you can annotate this way. It gains heat and evaporate, and then it loses, the water vapor loses heat on the cooler inner surface of the plastic dome. Okay. Because they ask you explain how water was formed at the base of the plastic dome. The base is this part. Okay. Because the water will drip down to the side. So this answer is actually quite straightforward. Talk about the water from the ground gain heat and evaporate, become water vapor. Water vapor loses heat to the cooler inner surface of the plastic dome and then condense to form tiny water droplets. Okay, so those students who have with me for quite some time, the answer is very standard. Is this what? This part. Okay, so you mentioned that. Okay, the water from the moist ground gained heat from its warmer surroundings and evaporated into water vapor, which came into contact with the cooler inner, you can put cooler inner surface or cooler inner surface of the plastic dome. Okay, lost heat and become water droplet. Okay, there's what part lost heat they didn't put of the plastic dome and loses heat and condense into water droplets. Okay, and can condense into water droplets. Okay, I'll repeat. Which came to contact. Okay, you can write in shorter sentences if you like, but the main thing is you must mention about these three things. Number one, the moist water, right, gain heat from the warmer surrounding and evaporated into water vapor. Water vapor came into the cooler inner surface and loses heat, this part, and condensed to form tiny water droplets. Okay, this part. So again, this is a quite straightforward question, 2 marks given. Okay, scouts are advised not to lift the dome too often. Okay, as this would result in less amount of water being collected. Explain why less amount of water would be collected if the dome was lifted too often. Because if you lift too often, right, the warmer water vapor will escape. That means there will lesser chance to condense the warmer water vapor. So this will be the answer. This is only 1 mark. So this part will be this answer here. Okay, if they lift up the dome too often, the warmer water vapor would escape from the plastic dome, and the cycle of collecting pure water in the plastic dome would have to start all over again. Okay, the main thing is you mentioned that if they lift too often, the warmer water would escape. So there'll be less warmer water vapor being trapped and being condensed. Okay, next, black absorb heat better than light colors. When the scout painted the plastic dome black, less water was collected. Okay, this one is quite a tricky one. So I would like you to put an asterisk here because according to what I observed, only about 30% of students can answer these questions correctly. Okay, the concept behind this is this way. Okay, because if you paint the plastic dome black color, this is what happened. So imagine like this part, right, is painted black. And they mentioned to you black actually absorbs heat better, right? Yeah, black absorbs heat better. So from the sun is shining down, right, on the black surface. So if you absorb heat better, that means the temperature here, right, on the plastic dome will be increased, right? Correct? So maybe initially, let's say it's not black color, maybe it's like 30 degrees. But now you increase to 35 degrees. Okay, remember for condensation to happen, right? The warmer water vapor must lose heat to a cooler surface. So now if the surface is already have a higher temperature, it will no longer be able to condense the water vapor because it is at a higher temperature than the water vapor. So if you understand this concept, you can answer this question. Okay, so this one is testing your understanding. So you would say that the plastic dome would gain heat from the warmer surrounding and it might have a higher temperature than the water vapor in the dome. And the water vapor would not be able to condense. Okay, so this is answer. I put it here. Okay, you say the plastic dome. Okay, the plastic dome would gain heat, or maybe you can more specific. The black plastic dome, the black colored plastic dome would gain more heat. Okay, more heat from the warmer surrounding. Thus, it might have a higher temperature than the water vapor in the dome. And the water vapor would not be able to condense on the side of the dome. Okay, I'll put it here. This way. Okay, so this is quite a tricky question. So you take note of it. Okay, this part. So what I do is I will screenshot the answers and send to you shortly when I do the pause recording. Okay, so this question is actually taken from this school, RuLang. Okay, question 38. Okay, question 38, just to check, does your paper have this graph? Because some people told me don't have this graph. So if you don't have this graph, I will screenshot and send to you, which I'm going to send now on this question. Okay, this graph, question 38. Okay, let's continue question 38. We have only about 16 more minutes. Okay, question 38 says Timothy hung various weights on 3 springs A, B, and C. And this recorded the result. Okay, notice they start at this part, 20 centimeters. So what was the extension when a 6 kilogram weight was hung from spring B? So 6 kilogram from here, you go up, right? Can you see here? Okay, and then this is 60. But you must be careful because this is the length of spring. Okay, so they ask you what was the extension. So extension means length of spring minus original length. Okay, original length was 20, right? So 60 minus 20. Okay, so this answer is 40. 40. Okay, 40 cm. Okay, which spring was least elastic when a weight of up to 3 kilogram was hung? Okay, so from here 3 kilogram, what you do is annotate this part. From 3, right, go up, right? Okay, can you see least elastic means it will stretch least, so it's actually spring C. Okay, then you have to explain your answer. So it says spring C, when the same weight is hung on the springs, spring C increase the least. So this is how you explain. This is only 1 mark. Okay, spring C. When the same weight of 3 kilogram is hung on the spring, spring C increase the least. Okay, so this is the answer for this question. Again, our screenshot. Okay, next question. This is connected to this question. I noticed this year that many schools like to test on this baby cradle. So you take note, maybe PSL will come out. Okay, so you highlight this part. Okay, 50 centimeters. Okay, so when the baby is used as shown, okay, the cloth pot was at 50 cm above the ground when it was empty. Empty, take note. So empty is already 50 centimeters. So they say the combined weight of this baby and the cot was 4 kilogram. Okay, 4 kilogram. So you look at the graph here. Okay, I erase everything to help you see clearly. So you point at 4 kilogram. So where is 4 kilogram? You take your pencil, right? Okay, can you see this is 4 kilogram? So you dot the line upwards, right? So they say which spring are they using? They are using for, okay, they say the combined weight is 4 kilogram. Based on the line graph above, explain why spring A, underlines what? Why spring A would be unsuitable. Okay, look at spring A. Okay, this is spring A, right? So if the baby and the cloth is 4 kilogram, this is what happened. This spring will extend to, the length is 80. Okay, 80 minus 20 is how many? 60, right? That means it will extend 60, but the clearance is only 50. That means the baby will hit the ground. Understand? Yeah. So you say that when a 4 kilogram is hung on spring A would extend to 60 centimeters, which is even longer than the distance between the cloth pot and the ground. So the baby will hit the ground if it's placed in a cloth pot with spring A attached. Okay, so this is the answer which I share with you here. So you say when a 4 kilogram, I have modified the questions. Okay, the school actually put 3 kilogram. I changed the variable to 4. Okay, maybe I put it here, it's easier to see. Okay, there are lines blocking. I put it here. Okay, when a 4 kilogram is hung on spring A would extend to 60 centimeters, which is even longer than the distance, because the distance mentioned here is, if you see carefully, this is 50. Okay, 50. But when you put the 4 kilogram, you will extend 60. So the baby would hit the ground. So that's why spring A is not suitable. Clear? Spring A is not suitable. So once again, I will screenshot this and continue the next question, but I'll do a stop recording first if everyone is clear of this. Thank you.